start with just an opening statement about thoughts on the game.
Yeah, it was good to get a win. Found a way to get a win. Proverbial, just what do they call it? They took victory from the jaws of defeat. I mean, I thought we were dead in the water most of the game. We found a way to get a win. I got guys played well down the stretch. We've been good like both games. I will say this: we've been good down like the last 4 minutes of the last two games. We've been very good as far as making plays and execute. And I thought Joel Brown had a shaky start and played really well like the last 4 minutes. I thought Idan played well. We got hurt on the glass. We got hurt. Our depth was not as good. And I jumped in pretty hard. I thought our preparation. It's hard. I think game 2 is the hardest game because game 1 you're excited for. You're fired up. You're all down in Charleston. The place is packed. We didn't have the same kind of life to us before the game and things like that. But we found a way to get a win. So much better to win that game and move on than to get beat. So no, I'm happy with the win. We'll learn from it. This team's got to learn a lot, and we're gonna get better. So we'll take it.
Tobin, after the U4, the rapid maturation of this team, what can you say about that after how they fought back against Charleston Monday night and then the same thing here tonight?
Yeah, we showed some guts, right? I mean, we showed some guts. I thought guys, our backs are against the wall a little bit. I mean, we were at a certain point, we're down 6 or 7. Like we don't make a run at that point, we're beat. So I thought the guys showed a little bit of guts, a little bit of toughness. We're not good enough right now because we're all new to not be that way all the time. I thought at Charleston we were that way for 40 minutes, but on our 2 scrimmages we were too. Tonight we kind of like eased into the game a little bit, and we got ourselves in trouble. And with that being said, Sacred Heart's a good team. They're an experienced team, one of the oldest teams in the country. We knew they came in with a chip on their shoulder, and I thought they played well. And quite frankly, deserved to win. I told that to Anthony. So I think you guys, their head most of the game, deserved to win, but we were able to get it done. So we're going to get a lot better. This team will improve more probably than any team that I've ever had, and probably any team in the country, just because no guy on our team had played in Hines until tonight. It's the first time those guys all be in there in Hines, and so I think it was just something new for them. We'll get better.
Sully is such a different player from Oz. Do you think it's just taken them a while to get used to not having Oz out there, just the different style of play that the two guys
they're two totally different guys. I thought he actually did a lot of good things tonight. Blocked some shots, he rebounded, he was physical. In the way we had to play, and Sully's playing 8 or 10 minutes off the bench, and he's playing a role, and he comes in and gives us energy and toughness, and now he's being asked to do a lot. I mean, he guarded. We had to switch ball screens the last 8 minutes of the game. He guards pretty well. He listens well. He picks up things. So yeah, I mean, it is what it is, right? I mean, he's got to do more than we probably wanted to do initially. But I thought he played pretty well. We watched the tape, but I thought he played pretty well. But yeah, he's different. He's not a perimeter guy at all. He can't make a 3. So it's like he's got to bang. He's got to be physical. I thought Saunders came off the bench and gave us some good minutes the first half. He's more like Oz. He's just not physically ready right now. And Isaac Bryce is the same way. Those guys and they're going to get better, We get 10 days off here. Thank God we get a chance to go back to work and get better for Florida.
You always say you press for the entire game. That's your style. But when tonight, where Sacred Heart didn't seem to have, for much of the night, a problem with your press. You just keep playing it anyway, but maybe in a way it wore them out a little bit for those final 4-minute rally.
Yeah, I thought the press of the first half was a disaster. It was a layup drill, well, that's what we do. And so, we're not going to abandon what we do. We're going to have to get better at it, And so, maybe that's stubborn. Maybe that's we pressed two scrimmages in Charleston, and we were fantastic. And then tonight it wasn't them, it was us. We didn't have any energy. Why was the press better in the second half? Well, there was a whole lot more energy with how we played. So, yeah, I'm with you, Jim. I thought about 10 minutes gone that first half, we should stop pressing and just go back and play half-court defense. But, I also think with a new team, if you start, abandoning ship and bailing out and trying to do something else, you're going to find yourself in trouble. We're thinking long term here. Obviously getting the win was huge, right? But we're also thinking about how's this team get better. And it's like, hey, we're not going to just abandon ship because you guys don't want to play with the effort that we need. We have to learn how to play that way, And I thought we eventually got to that point, and they were a little bit tired at the end. But JB had a huge, we call it a back tip. He came from behind, tipped the ball. It was a great play. We could do that in the first half too. That's allowed in the first half as well. So, but no.
Talk about Joe Brown kind of leading that rally in the final minutes. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I took him out to start the first 2 minutes of the second half. I thought it was terrible. I told him that, and he's a great kid. He's an unbelievable kid. He wants to do well, and so I took him out and I was on him pretty hard. Joel's not a great, and he actually hit some shots down the stretch. Not a great offensive player. He's got to lead with his defense, his toughness, his getting loose balls, things like that, which he wasn't doing. And then to his credit, he came back and he played great down the stretch. So, I think mental toughness is like when you're having a bad night, finding a way, no matter what happens, to play well when it's needed. I thought for his mental toughness to play great, I thought Idan was pretty good tonight too. Like, when it got tough, those guys, they played well. Now, for us to win and win big, we got to be better for 40 minutes, but I thought they played well when we had to, yeah.
For 30,
Coach.
35 minutes, it seemed like you couldn't get a second guy to step up. Greg fouls out. Joel and Weza came on down the stretch for them to pick up Idan and not let his night go to waste. What does that say about the supporting cast?
Yeah, I mean, I think we're deep, and we were able to showcase that depth tonight because, there were some guys who didn't play as well as we thought. We want to go 9 or 10 deep, right? If we're not going 9 or 10 deep, it's because somebody in that rotation is not giving us what we need out of those guys, right? So we had a kind of shorter rotation, which put a lot of pressure on Idan. Idan played a lot of minutes tonight. What did he play? He played a ton of minutes. Him and Wes played a lot of minutes. Like, that's too many minutes. 32. Like, and that's hard to play that way. We pressed the whole time. But I thought JQ was pretty good at times. I thought he was good. Gene's got to be more aggressive. Gene's got to try to score a little bit more. I think he's content right now to be I've coached 3 Venezuelan kids, and they're wonderful kids, and they always want everybody else to score and have fun. And it's like what's the government over there? It's a lost my mind. It's a everybody gets everything, right? Gene's like, hey, let's points for you. Gene, go.
Socialist.
Okay, socialist. There we go. Right? Like, Gene, go score, man. Go play plays. We're like, Gene, go do something. Like he wants to just make everybody else happy. So as time goes on, he'll be a little more aggressive. So that will help us. But Alex Bates got to give us more minutes. Those guys will all get better.
Coach, Idan Tretout 34 points. Is that the kind of game you want him to have for you?
I thought he was terrific as far as he got a great movement in the second half. He forced a little bit early on the first half, but I thought he moved well. He cut well. We've asked him to change a little bit. He wants to go sometimes off the dribble too much, where he's more of a catch and shoot guy. He was a great catch and shoot guy tonight. He's got to learn how to play without the ball. Yeah, he was and in big shots too. Made big plays. He defended too. It's amazing how your defense a lot of times gets your offense going. I thought that was his best defensive effort he's had all year. So that got his offense going.
Is it fair to say he had a calming effect on the team tonight? I kind of thought that.
Idan?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought so. Yeah. We kind of need a little bit of life. He gave us a little bit of life in the second half. There's a point where he was like, if our guys are not exhausted and needing to come out, we say get a fist in the air. We always say if you get tired, get a fist up. But if we don't see fist in the air, we're not playing very hard. I thought at halftime, not enough guys were sweating. Yeah. I was sweating. No one else was sweating, right? So it was like when it was in Charleston, we were exhausted, right? So we got to get to that point where we play that hard all the time. And I thought he got us going with his energy. I told him that too. And that kind of was a little bit contagious. Weza was good. I thought Weza was great. I don't know what Wes shot. What did Wes shoot from 3?
4 of 10.
Yeah, so he didn't make. He's going to make. That guy makes shots. He's not shot the ball great so far, but I think he's doing a lot of other things. He's defending. He's talking. He's leading, which is really good. And listen, the reality is, Greg Gordon's one of our best players. He didn't have it tonight. I was trying to get Greg, and he didn't get any foul. We needed a good 4 or 5 minute spurt from him. He just couldn't get to that spurt, and with him not being great, Idan had to play well, Wes had to play well, and they did, which is good. And JB played well.
You mentioned Gene and JQ, the plays that they made on defense in the final minute. What can you say about their effort and how they've grown up?
Yeah, I love those guys, man. They're great. And they really, as freshman guards, and we played, like I said, we've scrimmaged 2 A-10 teams. We played down at Charleston. We played tonight. They haven't blinked. They haven't batted an eye. They've been mature. They've handled things well. Especially JQ. He turned it over at one point. I said, JQ, back in high school, you go score 30. I said, stop being so damn passive and go make plays. So he's got to make plays. I think he made a shot down the stretch where he got laid out of the basket, made a good play. So yeah, I like those two a lot. And as time goes on with Joel Brown and Idan and then JQ and Gene, those 4 guards should be interchangeable, And we'll play 3 of them together at a certain point, So. We're a work in progress, as you can plainly see.
You must be frustrated with the free throw shooting today, obviously.
What was the free throw shooting?
12 of 24. Is that right?
We were 12 for 24? Jeez. I shot in college. I was a hell of a free throw shooter. Maybe it's time for a free throw clinic where I actually help show guys how to shoot free throws. I couldn't guard anybody. I couldn't do anything else, but I could shoot free throws. So I didn't know it was 12 for 24.
You got a big break coming up. You can.
Yeah, we'll work on our free throw
Challenge them.
shooting. Yeah. I tried to work. Yeah, we missed a bunch. I'm not thinking about it. We missed a bunch. Idan was coming down the stretch, so. Yeah, we'll have to work on that. We actually shot some free throws, which is good. We didn't shoot many in Charleston, but we shot some free throws.
Coach, is there a personality you really want this team to adapt, or a style that you want them to be at?
Yeah, like tough, punch in the face, go after people, like be aggressive. I thought we were just too passive to start the game tonight. Like we came out, like we got the lead, but it didn't feel like we imposed our will. It's like you said, Jim, like we felt like they kind of like handled our pressure well, handled stuff pretty well. Like their defense kind of bothered us. So I thought at Charleston, we got beat by Charleston, but we imposed our will down there. We did not do that tonight. We did not impose our will how we want to play. So I want to be tough, aggressive, going at people. I didn't think we were like we should be able to go. We did this at Charleston. Play hard for 3 or 4 minutes. The next guys come in. We almost go to our bench and get better. Our bench, because those guys are fresh and ready to go. That didn't really happen tonight. So we're gonna work on that. We'll get better.
How'd you like your first game in Hines?
I loved it. That was awesome. The crowd was incredible. The fans were incredible. The students were great. I mean, the place was packed. So hopefully they'll come back and keep encouraging us to keep playing like that. We're gonna get better too. But I thought like the last 3 or 4 minutes, the place was rocking. It was awesome. So we'd like to make it a little bit less stressful for me and my family, but otherwise it was awesome. But no, a great crowd, great turnout.
We were stressed too, just so you know.
Listen, I'm exhausted. As Matt knows, I was at the cross country thing today. I must have ran 4 miles today trying to watch the cross country team at the regionals down there. So I was maybe a little bit burnt out from that. My energy was probably not as good as it should have been either. So I'll have to get more rest on game days.
Putting Greg back in with 7:30 to go, is that in line with how you would typically play it, or was it just trying to do something?
Yeah, like we got a little bit of trouble. We almost like backs against the wall. We had him, and he was not playing well. So it's kind of like the longer you sit, sometimes the worse it gets. So it's like, listen, give him a chance. Maybe he starts playing well. He makes a run for us because him sitting here, he's just getting cold. He was kind of out of it a little bit. So I thought he got his 3rd foul at the start of the second half. It was a bad one. And like all of a sudden, he's got to come out for a while, and that really hurt us. So it hurt him. He's got to adjust. It's all new. He's at Dyersburg Junior College last year. He could do whatever he wanted to there for the most part. He's got to adjust to games. And like now, he played well at Charleston. Well, teams are going to game plan for him and try to take certain things away, and he's going to have to adjust to that. But no, I like to play guys even when they're in foul trouble. Sometimes I wouldn't say 4 with 7:30 to go. In a great world, we get to the last media time out. He played like the last 4 minutes, but he wasn't. It was kind of like we had to give him a chance to do something. But he'll get better.
Coach, I've already asked you a couple weeks ago, you're not going to have Shema and Gordon for your first home opener. You probably thought you were going to be a tough night.
Yeah, right. I mean, we miss old Oz. I mean, Oz is like so special because he's so smart. Oz, you can just tell at halftime he was irritated. So, it's not ideal. There's not one guy who had been in Hines before in a whole brand new team, but that's not our. We got to get better. We have enough weapons here to be a good team. So we're and like I think it's a great opportunity for us to get better. And then when Oz comes back, the guys who are playing more minutes now, Sully, Saunders, Isaac Bryce should get. And we're going to need those guys in Florida. We're going to play 3 games in 3 days down in Florida and go to Colorado 2 days later. So 4 games in 6 days. We're going to need those guys to play, and it should help us in the long run when Oz gets back. Because we only had Oz for a half against Fordham. It was a lot more fun with Oz out there. Mm-hmm. So, but it is
He
part of
a lot in the press, right?
the press, the offense. I mean, he's so smart. He runs so hard. He knows what to do. He talks. I mean, you wouldn't believe Oz talks a lot on the court. He's like a point center. I mean, it's amazing. Like we didn't know how good he was until the Fordham scrimmage. We're like, man, he does a lot of stuff for us. So and like he's picked up how we play. Like I mean, he knows everything. So but the reality is he's out for a while, and it ain't the end of the world. Other guys got to step up, and I think we've shown signs. But we need more.
What's the focal point in the next 10 days as you get ready for that trip?
Just do what we do. Like we got to be. Our press. Our press has been really good in the first. Like I said, 2 scrimmages and one in the game at Charleston. And like it wasn't tonight. It's got to get back to being that good all the time. Our press makes us different. And then our half court defense could be a little bit better there too. I think we got hurt like the last. What was a rebound?
It's close.
Close. Yeah. I mean, I think they hurt us some big offensive boards. That's got to get a little bit better.
38 to 37.
Yeah. And with Charleston we're -1. So I think pressing how we press, developing some of those young guys to play bigger minutes. And then I thought offense was a little bit stagnant at times. Got to work on our offense, but how we play is different. It's just like how our system it takes more time. So and patience is not one of my strong points. So I'm having to learn a lot of patience. But I mean, I'm exhausted. I gotta be honest with you. So we'll. I need tomorrow off. So we're gonna get better though. I love this team. I like this team a lot. I think this team has a chance. We have a tremendous heart. I mean, even tonight's win, like. It wasn't pretty. We probably didn't deserve to win, but like they got a lot of heart to make plays down the stretch to find a way to get that win. So that's special. So we can be a really good team.
Well, that's one.
Yeah, you told me 3 weeks ago, I asked you what you thought about the Charleston game, and you said you went down there and you really played well, and it was a close game. It really bodes well for the team. You did that without Oz. How are you feeling now about the team?
When I walked out of Charleston, I said to my staff, we've been looking together for a long time, I said, we're going to be in trouble on Friday. Because let's be honest. I mean, it's on social media. Wow, Iona played great. They played great. They looked good, better than they thought they were going to be. Everybody said the same thing. They looked really good. That they all read that stuff, right? So it's like, and I said, human nature is to relax and feel good. And like, hey, we got this thing. We're going to be great. Well, how we don't know how good Charleston is, right? So I think they beat Duquesne. So it's like it's such a new season. So a mature team. And we're mature as far as we have some old guys, but we're not mature together. Would have come in today and been like, hey, we got to take care of business and have the same energy. We didn't have that, but I think we're going to learn that as time goes along. So, I knew we were in trouble walking out of Charleston tonight. Because I saw everybody's patting us on the back and like, you guys are doing great and saying nice things about me, which I don't mind, but you have to handle the right way. I'm also older. I can handle that kind of stuff, My wife thinks the team is great. My wife thinks we're going to the Final Four. I mean, everybody's got to just take a deep breath. Calm down.
Thank you, Coach.
Thanks,
All right,
Coach.
good?
Thank
All right,
you.
It's great to see everybody.